Have you ever wondered where the very first homes came from? Long before cities, castles, and skyscrapers existed, early humans had to survive in a dangerous world filled with wild animals, harsh weather, and freezing nights. Without houses, electricity, or even simple tools, they relied on their creativity to build the first shelters in human history. These simple structures became the foundation of everything we call home today. Thousands of years ago, early humans were constantly on the move. They followed herds of animals, searched for edible plants, and looked for fresh water. Since they didn't stay in one place for long, they couldn't build permanent homes. Instead, they slept wherever they could find protection. One of the earliest shelters was something nature had already built: caves. Caves protected people from rain, strong winds, cold temperatures, and dangerous predators. Archaeologists have found evidence that humans lived in caves more than 300,000 years ago. Inside, they discovered stone tools, animal bones, and the remains of ancient campfires. But caves weren't available everywhere. Many people lived in open grasslands, forests, or river valleys where there were no natural shelters. They had to build their own using whatever materials they could find nearby. The first handmade shelters were extremely simple. Early humans collected long branches and leaned them together to form a frame. They covered these frames with leaves, grass, bark, or animal hides to block the wind and rain. These shelters could be built quickly and abandoned just as easily when it was time to move. Animal skins played a huge role in survival. After hunting animals for food, early humans carefully cleaned and stretched the hides. These thick skins became waterproof covers for shelters and also provided warmth during cold nights. In colder regions, people had to build stronger shelters. They stacked large bones from mammoths and covered the structure with heavy animal hides. These bone houses have been discovered in parts of Eastern Europe and date back around 20,000 years. They helped families survive during the Ice Age when temperatures dropped far below freezing. Fire made these shelters even more useful. Once humans learned how to control fire, they placed campfires near the entrance or inside larger shelters with openings for smoke to escape. Fire provided warmth, light, protection from predators, and a way to cook food safely. As generations passed, humans became better builders. They learned which wood was stronger, which plants made better roofing, and how to tie branches together using vines, roots, or strips of animal hide. Every generation improved on what the previous one had learned. Eventually, some groups stopped moving constantly. Around 12,000 years ago, people began farming crops and raising animals. Because they stayed in one location, they started building stronger and more permanent homes. Instead of temporary shelters, they used mud, clay, straw, and wooden posts to create sturdy houses. Some villages even built stone walls and shared community spaces. Living together made it easier to protect food supplies and work as a group. One famous example is the ancient settlement of Çatalhöyük in present-day Turkey. Built around 9,000 years ago, its homes were made from mud bricks and packed closely together. Interestingly, people entered their houses through openings in the roofs using ladders because there were no streets between the buildings. Shelters did much more than protect people from bad weather. They gave families a safe place to sleep, raise children, store food, make tools, and strengthen their communities. A simple shelter became the center of daily life. Building shelters also encouraged teamwork. Some people gathered wood, others collected leaves or mud, while skilled builders assembled the structures. Working together increased everyone's chances of survival. Over thousands of years, these simple shelters evolved into huts, villages, towns, castles, and eventually the modern cities we know today. Every home, apartment, and skyscraper can trace its origins back to those first branches leaned against each other by early humans. It's amazing to think that one of humanity's greatest achievements didn't begin with giant monuments or advanced technology. It began with a simple idea: creating a safe place to survive another night. The next time you step inside your home, remember that it represents millions of years of human innovation. From caves and animal hide tents to modern houses, every shelter tells the story of our ancestors' determination, creativity, and resilience. But the story of human shelters didn't stop with mud houses and ancient villages. As civilizations grew, people began building homes that reflected their environment, culture, and way of life. In hot deserts, Thick mud brick walls kept homes cool during the day and warm at night. In snowy regions, people built sturdy wooden cabins, and, in some Arctic communities, temporary igloos made from blocks of snow. Every design solved a different challenge, proving that humans could adapt to almost any place on Earth. Shelters also became symbols of identity. Families decorated their homes with paintings, carvings, and handmade objects that told stories about their ancestors and beliefs. Villages expanded into towns, and towns eventually became great cities connected by roads, markets, and places of worship. What started as a simple structure for survival slowly became the heart of culture, community, and civilization. Even today, the basic purpose of a home remains the same. Whether it's a small cabin in the mountains, a suburban house, or a towering apartment in a busy city, every shelter exists to provide safety, comfort, and a place where people can build their lives. Although modern homes are filled with technology our ancestors could never have imagined, they're all built upon the same timeless idea that began hundreds of thousands of years ago. The history of human shelters reminds us that progress doesn't always come from giant leaps. Sometimes, the greatest innovations begin with simple solutions to everyday problems. From stacking branches to constructing skyscrapers, each generation has built upon the knowledge of those who came before, shaping the world we live in today. If future generations look back at our homes thousands of years from now, they may see them as just another step in humanity's long journey of innovation. If you enjoyed learning about how early humans built their first shelters, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more fascinating history stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.